to do balayage.
To do, that's it? Yeah, so I do like almost, I would say 99% of my color with the board, okay, all my highlights. So what the board does for me is because the product, you know, I mix my product a little thicker because I move a little faster in the salon. It allows me to control the hair, but not just that, it allows me to really put pressure on the highlight as I'm laying it down. So what I do is I come in here, we'll grab a section, and I'll take my board, and sometimes, most of the time, I'll come in here and I'll just go ahead and go underneath first, right here, and then grab my board. And this, because I have fat section, I can actually push on this board, you know? So I can actually put pressure on it to make sure I really get nice, you know, penetration of the color. I used to actually have it this way. Control it with the teeth. Do you have to put foils on this? Not necessarily, but if you want to really get the maximum lift, yes, you do have to use foils. If you're not worried about maximum lift, you don't have to worry about the foil. Come in here and get that color in there. This also helps me get an even distribution of the color so I don't have spots, because it's a fat section. So any little mistake is going to be a big mistake. You know what I mean? So this is going to be something we're doing here. We're coming here. And then I'll go ahead and close it up. Because there's no bleach, there's no fat, I'm sorry, no fat, it's more than waxing, but no bleach or ammonia, this allows me to close that foil in a big fat section like that, and it's not going to swell. You guys use bleach before, you put it inside a foil, what happens? It swells, it bleeds, it makes a mess everywhere. This will not swell or bleed. That's one of the massive benefits to having this particular color line, is that it doesn't have that situation happen. So you're never going to be faced with any type of polka dots on the hairline or any of the bleeding going on there. Once again, using the board. Yeah, I've been criticized for using the board. I actually had a board certified colorist tell me I wasn't a colorist because I used the board. So I asked her to go ahead and do a full head foil, and I'll do a full head foil, and we'll see who gets closer to the scalp and how consistent you are on curves of the head, because the board helps me, especially when I'm down here on a bottom curve, because it's kind of unusual to put your body balance, hold the foil, get the color, hold the bowl, you know, all that together. This allows me to do that, to actually, even if I choose to, you can watch this, if I choose to, I can even come in here and release my hands and work like this with two hands and have two colors going at one time. Have my hand free over here and still apply color. This is one of the benefits of the board. And it's not that with or without one makes you better or not. It's just a technique that I found very comfortable, that I can work with, and I'm pretty fast at it, you know? And so that's one of the things that really helps me out as far as this goes. But it also creates a unique approach, because if she gets her hair colored with me and I use the board, and then they go somewhere else, you know, and I always tell my customers this, I tell it to them on purpose, I go, if someone's not using the board, and this is not technically true because there are some foilists who are just amazing no matter if they have one or not, but I always tell them, and this is 99.9% of the time I get the same response from them, but I'll say, you know, this is to ensure you don't have any roots left. I go, the worst thing you want to do is get your hair colored and you go home with roots like you haven't had it done yet. And 99% of the time they'll sit there and go like, that always happens to me. I always go home with roots, you know? And I go, what do you want with the board? And I just tell them that to make them really focused on believing that I'm, you know, a better colorist. And that's also something that allows me to get closer to the scalp. So it really does kind of prove the fact that I could get closer, but at the same time, it puts a message in their minds that we're performing better color because we're doing something different. And that's one of the cool things about using something in a vertical. And this has been around for years. It's called a balayage board, which is a French name. So the French actually came up with this name. I don't usually recommend too much French stuff, but besides French fries, but still a little bitter from the 9/11 thing, though. I remember that year, 9/11, the New York dog show was going on. This was probably maybe a year later. They have the New York dog show going on, and we've already attacked or whatever, started our attack over there. And it was between a German Shepherd and a French Poodle, and the commentator said, I don't know about this French Poodle, probably won't do well this year, you know, because of the French and the German, you know. And I was like, how could politics even make it into the dog show, you know? Because those commentators are pretty hilarious anyway, you know. And then, once again, don't ever try to attack a section too fat, because basically it's plain laziness. So you notice I'm dividing my sections here, and then I'm coming in with the board. It's allowing me to put the pressure, once again, down where I need it. Now, when I'm by I normally work with an assistant, but if I'm by myself in the salon, I will have all these papers already removed, and I will have 5 to 6 foils on a board by itself, and I'll have 5 or 6 boards lined up. So I will use this one like this. I'll show you. I'll actually do 2 foils here so you can see how it works. It's a very smart way to what we call preload your boards, so you don't have to be specifically worried about an assistant. So let's say, for instance, lunch breaks are getting a little tight, and one of the girls is going to be gone, and I won't have somebody to fill in. My assistant will literally preload me boards so that I can continue to move at the pace that I want to move. Well, you know, I'm not working with an assistant, but that's 90% of the time I do have somebody with me. See how I'll be able to take one board off, and I still have a foil on this one. So I don't stop. I just keep going like this. Take the next section down, pick the board back up, pop it back under, and now I'm back in business again. So instead of having to fumble with the foil, fumble with whatever, you know, you just have all the boards preloaded. And this is part of it. You can order this. This is Farouk Systems. Foils come with the boards already in the foil packet, right in there. And this will be the end of what is my highlight directly on top of the hair. So what I'm going to do next, and I'll go ahead and let you guys keep applying, but I'm going to do next, I'm going to apply all the color to the top, and then we're going to foil directly on top of the color. So you see the action we're going to get directly on top of the hair, and then the type of action we're going to get directly on top of the color, so you can actually feel confident to sell both of those. Okay? I have a lot of customers who come in and they get a base color, and I highlight directly on top of the color. Okay? So what I just said was I have a lot of customers that come in, they get base colors, and I just highlight directly on top of the color. You got to remember something right now. If somebody is coming to your salon and you're going to do a base color and just a base color, you have about a 60% chance of losing them as a customer. Why? Because they could put the damn base color on themselves, you know, at home. They really could. So we need to think outside the box. So there's 2 things that changed my life when Farouk first introduced this type of techniques. Number 1, I was able to double my profits because I had a base color on, and now I was able to come in and highlight directly on top of that base color. So I got to charge them for a highlight, and I got to charge them for a base color. So I took my like $60, $70 ticket to like $180, $200, you know, in just 1 minute without having to do anything more. And then don't spend any more time with a customer because this is going to be their natural processing time anyway. So instead of them just processing, we're going to start highlighting on top of the color, and it really starts to crank up the cash. You know, and I do suggestions all day long. And that's one of the things I can tell you right now. You have to remember the power of suggestion. If you don't suggest it, it's not going to happen, all right? It's not going to happen. So let's say her hair is literally falling this way, right? So we have the parting. So I would do an angled parting here, like this. And then I'll come in here on my angled parting. I'm going to find the break of where the hair is leaving, okay? Now I'm going to take a pretty strong section right there and bring it this way. So I'll get this out of the way. Alright. This is going to be my highlight right here. Now we come in. I'm going to place that highlight right there.
What level is that?
What level is this?
The base
I have a level 7RB, and I'm putting BB on it. Now, do you see where the board can help me also? Because now I have to make this penetrate. So I get it on there like this, and then I'm going to come in here and watch what I'm going to do. Get up here and look at it. I'm going to move it around like this. Because I want to mix that highlight into the color. So I want you guys to say the word monochromatic.
Monochromatic.
Monochromatic is similar but different tones, which means I'm going to lift this 7RB to about a 9, but it's going to be a 9RB, which means it's in the same family, but it's a different tone than the bass, so they can see an effect. Okay, and I usually tell my customers, this is like getting, you know, your hair kissed by the sun. because now, and I'm coming here and do like a zigzag pattern, because now you're going to have this effect. The longer you leave it, the lighter it gets, the thicker it is, the faster it lifts. All right? So here. Once again, preloaded the boards. You can actually place some lightener on top of the board before you lay the color down if you want to make sure that you get top and bottom effect there. Once again, come in here. I'm just going to hit it like this. And one thing that's very important on this, look at how flat my brush is. So I am applying color, not removing it. See that? Look what happened. Just because of the direction that I turned my brush, it took the color off. So this happens a lot, and I stop people all the time in the trainings and go, whoa, 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 you're actually removing color. You're not adding color to the hair. And don't argue with me, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. All right?
And Joe, how does that lightener breaks through that color?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. And there's no swelling or bleeding, and there's no ammonia, so we're not actually, doing anything that's going to be off the wall here.
And then what about when you rinse it? You're just going to rinse it?
When I rinse this, I will do two things. I will fold this highlight out of the way, make sure my base is gone. I will fold this highlight out of the way to make sure my base is gone. I will not remove my highlights until my entire base has been rinsed. Okay? Every time. 90% of the mistakes on a hair color were made in the shampoo bowl because it's a rinsing process. Alright? If I have a red tone like I do, a red brown here, and this blonde gets pretty blonde, the first thing that's going to be exposed if I let it bleed on top is going to be the red base. So I might get pink highlights, but I don't want pink highlights, So you just make sure. I'll do one more right here. Now there should be another foil. We just load one up.
You need some more lightener or you have stuff?
But you notice how I'm taking all these angles on a curved surface to expose different effects? It doesn't matter. Guys, let's think about this right now. You're not a potato. Don't worry about the shiny side or the not shiny side.
It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference. It's going to heat it up and it's going to get going. Now, the only way I could ever get people because people argue with you about that, all I will tell them is, why don't we look at how it comes out of the box? And maybe that's what you put the side, top, and down, up and down. If it comes out of the box with the shiny side up, maybe that side needs to go up.
You have some say, oh, keep the dull. It stays in the dull side. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just it's a catalyst to carry the heat a step further. That's what it is. That's what a foil is doing. It's also allowing us to create separation from different colors. Don't get too technical with it, because we get too technical with it, then we start messing up.